So this video just reviews some of the terminology associated with exponents and powers. So remember this whole thing here, 10 to the exponent of 6. The entire thing is called the power. Often we will say 10 to the power of 6. I'm guilty of that as well sometimes, but technically speaking, it's 10 to the exponent of 6, and the power is the entire thing. If we were to break that down and write it out, what it means is it means 10 repeated 6 times. So it means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. That's called the repeated multiplication. If we actually punch that into our calculator and find what it equals, then it's called standard form. So standard form is just a fancy way for what the number actually equals. So again, if we look at this bottom one, the entire thing is called the power. The big number is called the base. Quick refresher, the base is what keeps repeating over and over, and the small number is called the exponent. The exponent is how many times that base repeats over and over. Another thing that you just need to be aware of is how your calculator works. So when you're punching in something like 5 cubed, for example, how do you do that? Well, every calculator is different. Some have this button, some have this button, some have this button, some have a button that looks like this. I'm sure there are other ones that I can't think about right now. If you don't know where your exponent button is, please ask your teacher and your teacher will show you. It's really important that you know where it is because we don't want to do 5 to the exponent of 3 by doing 5 times 5 times 5. I mean, not such a big deal, but what about 5 to the exponent of 20? That you might not want to have to repeat over and over again. And so that's what our exponent button is for. So make sure you know how to use it. Typically what you do is you punch in the base first, then the button, and then the exponent, and it will give you your answer. Some of you might see this on your calculator. That is actually not an exponent button. Some of you might also see an x squared or an x cubed. Those are special exponent buttons. One is used for squaring numbers, and the other is used for cubing numbers. So if you had something like 5 to the exponent of 3, you could use your x cubed button if you wanted to. So play around with your calculator a bit and get familiar with how your calculator works.